Welcome back to Celebrate 2026, where we are trying to highlight some great students from our class of EMBA class of 2026. Today is a very special one because I'm joined by two people who help lead our entire EMBA class of 2026. Our co-presidents Marisa Lue and Vishnu Singh. Marisa is a staff program manager at Illumina, where she works on complex biotechnology programs and helps bring new innovations to market. She has over a decade of experience in life sciences and is also deeply passionate about mentorship, community service. Vishnu brings in a completely different perspective to our class. He is an associate counsel at Axel Information Management, where he works on mergers, acquisitions, negotiations, and corporate legal strategy. Together, they represent the diversity of our experiences in our EMBA program, from biotech innovation to corporate law. They have been leading our cohort through one of the busiest and most intense learning experiences of our life. And there's also a special story behind this journey. Marisa and her husband Kevin are doing the EMBA program together. During the program, they welcome their daughter Avery. We'll definitely talk about what it means to balance leadership, career, family, and an MBA at the same time. Marisa and Vishnu, please welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, Praveen, thank you. Thank you.
My first question I would always love to understand is why an MBA right now?
Oh, you're asking me? Well, yeah, I know it's rare to do an MBA as an attorney. I won't say rare; it's uncommon. There are a few of us in our cohort, and it's something I thought about when I was at UCLA in undergrad. I didn't quite do it, and then in law school as well. But I had a bit of a lull in my career where I felt like I could have more experience, expand my horizons a bit there. And candidly, I got a notification on LinkedIn saying, "Why don't you an MBA program?" And I thought, sure. So I applied for that program. I won't say which one it was. And then I thought, if I'm going to do this seriously, I want to go to my home, UCLA Anderson. So I applied, and as you can tell, I got in. The rest is history.
How about you, Marisa?
Yeah, for me, as a program manager in biotech, I work with a lot of cross-functional teams, and I was in meetings with executives, and I just felt like I didn't have that business acumen that I wanted to understand why we were making strategic decisions, why we were leaning towards a certain customer segment. And it's actually funny, my husband, he's always told me that he wanted to go get an MBA, and I was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And then one year we were like, why don't we just do it together? And here we are, both at UCLA.
Awesome. I also, as I introduced during the opening, you're also co-presidents of this class. How has that journey been for you, both of you?
It's been interesting. I think student leadership is something I did personally in law school, so something I always wanted to do here as well. Was the social rep for our section, our first year, and I thought there could be, an ascent to the presidency as well, or a co-presidency in this case. And to be candid, it's not what I thought it would be in many ways. There's definitely highs and lows to it. I think when you enter student leadership, you have an idea of things you can accomplish and knock it out right away, and that's not the reality. The reality is you face a lot of issues from the administration, from the students, and it's just a lot of trying to mitigate and navigate those difficulties there, trying to represent the cohort as best we can in the administration while still talk to the administration and understand their needs and their concerns and telling the students that same way. So in many ways, I feel like we're the middleman. It's not what I thought it would be, but it's still very much in process.
How about you, Marisa?
Yeah, if you asked me 2 years ago if I was going to sign myself up for co-president of the class, that wasn't on my UCLA Anderson bucket list, because as you mentioned, I was pregnant at the beginning of the program. But when Vishnu asked me, and wanted to talk about this partnership, it was something that really spoke to me. I've participated in leadership positions before in different organizations that I've worked with, and I really wanted to be able to be an advocate for the class, and it's been a great learning journey for me, just being able to lead through my peers, and while I'm also getting my MBA, so it's been a balance, a bit of a challenge sometimes, but it's been fun.
Can I ask you guys what has been the toughest part of this co-president journey? I've been behind the scenes. I know it's a lot. We've been through a lot, especially this last 8 months, 9 months. What has been the toughest part? Any learnings that's gonna keep you, that'll remember you for a long time?
I think it's been tough I get along with the class very well. At times, I know they have a lot of concerns, and it's been tough not being able to meet a lot of them, candidly. And there are reasons for it. There's certain limitations that have been placed on us. There's realities we have to deal with. So that's been tough, trying to perhaps deliver bad news. You know what, we just can't do that for you. And that's been tough, and there's reasons for that. So that's been the toughest part for me, I would say.
Yeah, I think the toughest part for me was not being able to meet our classmates' expectations at times, but also some for that I had for myself. If I'm taking up a role, if I'm committing to something, I want to be able to do it well and do it in the way that I would want to show up for myself. And sometimes balancing school and work and motherhood and everything can be difficult. And so I think a part of it is also learning how to give myself a little more grace in life and patience with myself and be a better communicator with my co-president and my classmates and just say, hey, I might have to do this tomorrow instead of today. And that's, just learning to be okay with that.
Awesome. And I know this journey, the MBA journey, is going to be very special for both of you. As I said, you're doing with your husband. You have a daughter through this program, so I'm pretty much sure you're never going to forget it. I know you have something similar in your life as well. You find somebody who's very close to you right now through the course of the program. So, do you guys want to say how it's going to be memorable in multiple ways?
Well, yeah, I think. Why Anderson probably most memorable for me is not a professional thing or something academic. It's probably going to meet my wife here at after our first quarter. We traveled to Peru on the global immersion program, and I met Caitlin there, and I mean we're kind of in the process of solidifying that relationship in many ways. So yeah, I think when we talk about return on investment.
It's been great for you.
Yes, it's been great. So yeah, the student experience has been great. I love UCLA. Yeah. I love our class, but I mean, those are both things. We'd probably be meeting my wife at Anderson. So that'd be
awesome.
Great.
Awesome. I love that. Marisa?
Yeah, I think for me, being able to use this program as kind of our time marker for when we had our first child, like I think, she was born the second weekend after our first class. And so every time I look at her, I just think about where we are at in our program. And in 5 years from now, she'll be 5. It's kind of just this like really crazy feeling to just know that. And also walking away in this program with her having 156, aunts and uncles. Like, can't ask for more than that,
Yeah, she's our EMBA baby, as we celebrate in our
she's the
WhatsApp
baby.
group.
EMBA baby and a mascot in a way.
Yeah. Get a little MBA when she's like.
Right, herself and Veno.
Yes.
For people who don't know Veno is the dog who's Andrew brings along to our class. Yeah. Nice. As always, now AI is everywhere. Just to step back, I just want to understand how UCLA, how you explored AI through this program. Did it actually change the way you are looking at AI? And is there anything part of the program that actually helped you, hone your skills on AI?
It changed my life in many ways. I think when we first started the application process, ChatGPT was something that I was becoming more familiar with. Not familiar with, I was becoming aware of. But honestly, I didn't really use it or was well aware of how vast and how widespread the usage was until I got to Anderson. Not in terms of student usage, it was just like how popular it was as a tool for us to use. And to be honest, if I hadn't come here, I'm not sure where my AI experience would be. So it's been a great plus and bonus to my life. I had not used it before coming here, and maybe within my first 2 quarters, I was becoming more accustomed to ChatGPT, Gemini, and other things like that.
Awesome. Yeah, I totally agree. My husband will say this. I was a bit of a skeptic with the AI at first, and I don't think if I wasn't in this program, I would not be where I am today in the industry, understanding AI and what the capabilities it has. I think that I've been able to learn how to prompt better. I've learned how to challenge AI better. I've learned how to kind of do a little bit of comparison between different AI tools and figure out what's better and what kind of produces what I need. I'm still getting better at the prompting, but I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't come to Anderson. And my friends in my personal friends group, they don't use it. So it's like it's a huge leg up in the industry for sure.
Awesome. Any personal AI course that you guys liked, which which you want to recommend?
I took tech innovation and strategy with Professor Kramer. It's not like specifically AI, but we learned a lot about what companies are doing with AI technology and doing a lot of case studies in that realm. And it's been really fascinating to just learn about where you could take it, and the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, I've taken the same course right now, and I would agree. That's what I would point to. It can be challenging. Professor Kramer's great. He's well renowned for a reason.
Yeah.
Awesome. And one more question I wanted to ask is, I know both of you been on the Center for Global Management, which is one of the flagship programs we have access to through this MBA. I've heard a lot about good things about the program. Do you guys want to share something?
Yeah. Said it a few times now. I think it's the best thing, at least in my experience, Anderson does, is the CGM program, Center for Global Management, run by Lucy Allard. It's not just because I probably met my wife there. No, not probably. Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say yes.
Like, on Caitlin's behalf.
Let's set that. Definitely met my wife there on the first program in Peru. So I've been on 3 immersions and been on exchange. My 3 immersions were Peru, Lima, Peru, and Cusco, Tokyo, Japan, and we went to Mumbai and Hyderabad, India, as well as exchange program at the London Business School, and they were all incredible. All very well. First of all, there's a lot of polish. They're all very well run by Lucy. But the trips themselves are interesting. You visit a lot of cool businesses and interesting businesses in each location, and you can just between Peru, Tokyo, and India, a lot of differences there, and you can see how different countries run different businesses there. How businesses run different countries there. And LBS is amazing as well. It's a very well regarded business school.
I'm going to put you on a spot.
Okay.
Pick a place which you like the most.
Ooh.
I have to say Peru.
Oh, come on.
I have to say Peru. I have to say Peru.
Awesome. I know why.
Just had to make sure.
Yeah.
How about Marisa?
Yeah, so I went on an international exchange to Brazil, which was amazing, being able to learn from professors over there. I took sustainability in the Amazon and consumer insights into Latin consumer behavior, and I loved it. I loved it a lot. And I went to South Africa for the global immersion with Professor Northrup, 100%, one of my favorite classes. We visited townships, we learned about social entrepreneurship, and we had South African food that was so amazing. And I wish I could come back and visit again with her. And I'm looking forward to Professor Kramer's trip to the Greater Asia region. We leave actually in a couple weeks, so I'm really excited about that.
So I think the diversity of the program is very evident from both of your responses, right? From social impact to probably high end of tech, India to Brazil to Japan. Wow. Nice.
Yeah, I think it's definitely one of the things that UCLA does right. It's the fact that they have these opportunities for us students to go out and learn about different cultures, about different businesses, like things that we should be considering in all different business aspects. And it's been really eye-opening for me. Like, it's funny because a couple years ago, I wrote down on my list of things that I wanted to visit a bunch of continents, and I knocked out almost everything in this 2-year span. So it wasn't what I immediately thought was going to happen, and here we are today, and I visited 5 continents.
But when you talk about that, right? My next question is, how do you find time, Marisa? You're a full-time, you have a full-time job, full-time mom. You're a co-president. Same thing to you, Vishnu, as well. I see probably every event we have, both of you are there well in advance. You guys organize. How do you actually manage to find time?
I will say it's hard. A lot of sleepless nights, a lot of late nights, a lot of communication with my husband for sure. Is we almost talk about our weeks every start of the week, just to say where are we going to be at, who's picking up Avery, and it's a bit of a balance, and it's definitely I've had to put some other things on the back burner. A little bit of exercise goes on the back burner. It happens. We do the best that we can, because I think at the end of the day, what we really want to do is show up and gain everything that we can in this program. So we do make the effort to try and drive up to LA whenever we can for an event or to see our classmates, because we want to build relationships and we want to be here. We might even move here. I don't know.
I would second that. A lot of it is just deciding to make a commitment to the cohort, to the school early. And that's why it's been tough. I'm not going to just say just a matter of making commitment. But, it takes the top priority. So I'm not going to work out as much as I used to. I'm not going to, it seems like a small thing, but I used to watch a lot of movies in the theater, and I don't think I've seen a movie in the theater. Oh, I saw Avatar. but
had to see that one.
But beyond that, I don't think I've been keep up to date on that or anything that I might normally have consumed. Yeah. My life has basically been Anderson, the cohort, my girlfriend, and my job. Not in that order, just in case anyone's watching. Right. Yeah, but that's been pretty much it, and it can be very tiring, to be honest.
Thank you for your response. If somebody is actually watching this show and wants to sign up for an MBA, what would be your advice to them if they're thinking about, how much time commitment I need, how can I actually go through this program?
When we first had our orientation at LF Week, as I believe they said, we prepared to give up one thing, and that's very true. It might be 2 things or 3 things. Certainly, if you want to join student leadership, student council, probably will be a couple things. But I think almost everyone here everyone at Anderson can attest to the fact that they have to give up something that they spend a lot of time on. I perhaps arrogantly thought, I've already been to a postgraduate school in law school, and I managed that pretty well. But at the time, I wasn't working full time. So to work full time, essentially be a full time student, and then have anything outside of that is very, very tough. So be prepared to give something up. It could be your soccer league after school. It could be keeping up with Real Housewives. You're going to not have time for that. I almost guarantee it. Just one or 2 things.
Yeah, also I think just being realistic, the more you put into this program, the more you're going to get out of it. And I think that, me not working out just means maybe I don't indulge when I go out to eat. You know what I mean? I think there's small tweaks that you can do and think about the way you manage your time and be really, really intentional about where you end up putting that time. Because, should I be watching TV for 2 hours? Probably not. Maybe I should be, cleaning up the house a little bit and, doing my homework and spending time with my daughter and making sure my dog is happy. You know what I mean? Things like that. And so just being really intentional about the time that you do have so that you can take advantage of whatever you want in this program.
Nice. And for me personally, right, when we were coming into the program, I didn't know there'll be so many social activities we'll be part of. I was totally surprised. And first of all, thanks to you, Vishnu, that you started this process even before we started our school. I think the first one, what we had, Top Golf, yeah. And you've been even before you were the social lead for our section, blue section. Yeah. You were starting to do so many things. And the first end of first quarter, I guess, right? Yeah. The end of first quarter is when we had the party bus.
That was the first weekend.
First weekend, isn't it?
First weekend, yeah.
That's going to be, memorable for to me for life. Nothing to take away from you after you both of you became co-presidents. I know how many.
No, he put in the work.
Of course. Yeah. Even after you guys got into this position probably sometime last year. I see we have something or the other every weekend. Which is great. Actually, I feel our class is much more closer. We understand each other much better. We have actually that psychological safe space, if you can use that word, where we are free to talk whatever we want to talk, and we don't feel judged, which is a great thing to happen in such a short period of time. Even though we think we are in class for 2 years, we're not essentially here for 2 years. Probably 20 weeks, 30 weeks, and I don't remember the exact number. Probably we meet each other only for those few weekends. To develop that kind of a close relationship is probably because all these efforts you guys put in. You want to talk something about that, Vishnu? And Marisa?
Yeah, I thought it would be important, starting off the program that we all get together soon and really establish that connection. And we had a few events even before the party bus before the Top Golf. We had some mixers which others MBAs helped run. Sarai might show in particular stand out there to help do those. And I assisted with that, and then we had a Top Golf event. And I thought it'd be a good way to kick off and to bond quickly, because I felt so much what was important about Anderson would be the network that we have here. And as we graduate in a few months now, the network's going to be what continues, our community, and I think that'd be important. And well, I appreciate the credit being given, and it was some work, I'm not going to lie, but so much of why it was successful was the effort you both put in, and everyone else in our cohort, and coming to those events, and being willing to meet people out there. So I think it was give and take there. So while I'm thankful for the gratitude, I appreciate everyone else to going to the events as well. That made it successful, certainly.
I agree. It's always about, you are taking the initiative to put in that effort, which is making others to actually, come in and participate. It's both ways.
Yeah, I think you started a good foundation for our class to be able to have some friendships coming into LF week. Like I live in San Diego, and I didn't really feel like I was able to get up here because I was also very pregnant at the time. But I think it made for some really great friendships that are going to be long lasting in this program. And we've already started talking about what does it look like after graduation. We've already got our Vegas trip in the books, ready to go post graduation, and there are some other things that we have up our sleeves, and I think we're really excited. It's a bittersweet time to think that we're so close to graduation, but at the same time we're looking forward to continuing our friendships and professional network together.
Not to maybe preempt the question you're asking, but it's been a common question the past few weeks, the past few days. Are you excited to be done? And I'm excited to be less busy.
I think we all.
Yeah, but I will miss the class. But then I thought, no, we can keep that going. We will keep that going, certainly. So we can keep our connections. We'll probably have season tickets to football. We're going to have a better team this year, hopefully.
Continue the fantasy football league.
Exactly. So I think in many ways, graduation will be a benefit for continuing our network and our community here, because we want the stress of the school, but we'll still have our friendships to keep going. That would be great.
And on this topic, I really want to talk about the football. Which one? The last year, 2024, is it? Yeah, 2024. We had the tailgate for UCLA USC.
Oh yes.
You painted yourself blue.
I did.
I know.
You were also blue. I wasn't there, but I saw the pictures.
I know how many weeks in advance you were actually planning. Of course, it was a great show.
Yeah.
And we won an award. I'm sure you're going to talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just talk about it. Well, that was something I wanted to do. I remember in our WhatsApp chat, for some reason, attending USC, for a good reason, attending USC and UCLA football games came up. And in undergrad, I painted myself blue at the Coliseum, by the way. I didn't do that at home. We won that game. And I felt like I'd set the tone that I was going to do that again. And then I maybe it was not that widespread, but I thought I had to do it. So, we wanted to plan a tailgate. And I want to credit, this was many people were in this group. It wasn't just me planning it. Henry and Charlie, our other two social reps at the time, definitely played a big role. There's about 10 other 15 other people there, so I'll name all their names. But it was a big group effort, so I'm very thankful to them for helping out there. And we threw a great tailgate. We had a bounce house. We had an animal playpen for dogs. We had various music setups and a number of grills, footballs. We had a Jenga set, a giant size Jenga set. It was a great event. And at the end of the event, also to point out, I was painted blue. Praveen was painted blue as well.
Yeah, myself.
Neil and Devin, right?
Devin.
Yeah, that was our UCLA. And so, and next year we need about 30 people because we're going to University of California, Los Angeles. I'll spell it out.
You do the whole thing.
The whole thing. But the Dos Equis people came out after the tailgate and said, "You won the best tailgate here," and we had a group picture, and our prize was a cooler, and that was awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, that's right. Nice.
Yeah, we almost won the game.
Yeah, we almost won the game. Cool. Yeah. Thanks again, for both of you and for the entire class. That we actually show up for every event, which is great.
Yeah.
And I'm sure this is going to continue for a long time. I definitely see that. And yeah, please.
Yeah, the party folks are coming out. We have
Yeah.
beyond. We have the Las Vegas trip. We have
Got a lot
a
of
trivia
things.
night coming up, which we'll talk about soon. Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
coming.
Some plans to do some
Mhm.
out of country stuff too.
Exactly.
Nice.
So keep you posted.
Thanks again. And finally, before I let you go, what has been the toughest part of this journey, either the MBA or as such your through this entire professional career, personal career? What has been your toughest journey, and what do you think we can take away from any lessons?
Good question.
I don't want to restate an answer, but it is the time management. I have a desire, which I think we've seen, to do pretty much everything. And I think a lesson to be learned is it's not possible to do everything. You probably got to pick your spots, decide where you want to focus, and have that be priorities for you. If you try to do everything like I have at times, you can get, I don't want to use the word burnout, but you can almost get there, and it can be tough. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I would say the toughest challenge for me was just going on the journey of motherhood while reintegrating myself back into the school life. I think a lot of what we talked about, like in the beginning of the program, was like we all had imposter syndrome coming in here. Like, do I even belong? And then once we get over that, it's like finding your kind of like place within, the cohort, your study group, Anderson as a whole, and while you're still working full time. And so, I had a little bit of self-doubt that I had to overcome there, and, feeling like I wasn't giving enough time to either the program or my family. And, we have a really great community that support us. Our classmates are very supportive. Our groups were very supportive of us. And it's been tough. It's been a tough 2 years, but I'm really glad that we stuck it through and learned as much as we did.
I'm not going to ask which is the toughest quarter. We all know which is the toughest quarter. What has been the most memorable quarter or a week, say Leadership Foundation week or any other quarter? What has been the most memorable so far? And if you can say why.
I think it was the first one, to be honest. I think we had a number. We talked about 2 events that we've had. Those are both in the first quarter. Especially for me, if you can include the Peru trip on the first quarter, which is in the middle, then that's,
sorry, that's winter quarter.
No, it's 2 and 2. It counts for both. But even with that said, I think it's the first quarter. So meeting everybody, I think we're all fresh, we're all ready to go. We're all full of energy. So that was the best. Largely for the events we had, but also that's when the relationships were formed. So I think it was the first quarter for me.
Yeah, I would also agree that first quarter was really great. I want to say like the summer was really interesting. And mostly just because that's when I did a lot of the travel for the program. Again, I went to Brazil and I went to South Africa and then I went to Spain as well. And so just being able to do all of that travel while I was in this program has been an amazing gift for me, for my professional and personal career, and being able to make those memories with classmates, because not only was I traveling with MBAs, I was also traveling with FEMBAs and full-timers. So like being able to do that and make cross-program connections was great. And I have some of those people are really good friends of mine now. So
You travel 3 continents in 1 month.
that's what I'm saying. It was on my bucket list, but I didn't think I was going to do it this year. But here I am. I did it
in 1 month, not even in a year.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we just ending the show with a quick fire. So I'm gonna put you guys on a spot
All right.
and
bring it on.
ask for some honest answers. Okay.
It's all been honest.
Honest, yeah, honest.
Okay. What is your favorite section?
Favorite section is the blue.
Monthly, obviously.
Okay. I thought you'll say no. You can't pick a section. No.
The favorite section is the blue section.
I mean, monthlies.
So blue section is the section Vishnu is in.
Yeah.
Monthly is the
I'm a
section she's in.
monthly.
Yeah, we have 3 sections.
We're not a color, but
Oh, yeah.
we're the monthlies.
Monthlies. Favorite. Okay, we guys talked about Kramer's class. So putting that aside, what is your favorite class so far? Been.
Data. I like the data class.
You mean
Data decisions.
Professor Elisalam?
Less long. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think less long.
Yeah, I would say Professor Northrup's class for South Africa. Honestly, she's doing another class this upcoming quarter, and I would love to be in it, but I can't do it.
I'm in it.
Yeah, you're in it. I'm jealous.
Great. The hardest class.
Finance.
Finance for me. Finance
Oh,
is
I should not have
hard.
asked that question. Yeah, that quarter was tough.
It was a tough one,
Yeah.
paired with accounting.
Right, and I would like to ask, what is your favorite restaurant?
I have mine is in the Bay Area.
Uh-huh.
It's called East Lake, and it's like literally 5 minutes from my house, and it's they've literally watched me grow up there.
Wow.
Yeah.
My favorite restaurant is called Crossroads Kitchen. It's on Melrose it's on Melrose. It's where I had my first date with Caitlin, and we've had some subsequent dinners there too. It was good. It's a vegan restaurant.
Yum.
And if I ask for a recommendation for a restaurant nearby in LA or no, wherever you stay, do you have a recommendation?
I can go.
Yeah, you can go first.
I'll go Planta Cucina. I mean,
We just went there.
Yeah, other than Crossroads, I'll go Planta Cucina. It's another vegan
That was
restaurant.
good.
Yeah, it's a great place.
Um,
And Marina Del Rey. Sorry.
yeah, Marina Del Rey. Oh man, I don't have one. I'm not a big foodie.
Oh, that's a
I will eat good food, but I'm very bad at going out to find the restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And memorable study group.
The first one.
The first.
I love my second group too, but my first one, I mean, they saw me through like the ups and downs of like being heavily pregnant and coming right out of, being a fresh mom. And so they'll always have a special place in my heart. But
You want to shout out the names of your first group?
Natalie, Jason, JD, and Joel. Love you guys.
I think by the numbers to please the most people, I should say my second group because it has more people. But
Hey, Albert, Anissa, please listen in, okay?
no, I want to. I think the first group's always special because that's when you're forming relationships, and it tends to be you almost default to them in many ways, which is Albert, Anissa, Julian, Jonathan, Barboni. But I do like all of them. They're good in different ways. The second group was very different,
Yeah.
to be honest. But also, I think for me, it came at the right time. I was when I was transitioning to becoming like a co-president here, and they were more relaxed about certain things. So that was nice.
Yeah.
And you guys have any memorable moment through this process?
With
I-
processes, maybe.
Yeah, with your study groups
Oh, with the
for
study
various
group.
reasons.
I think they just gave me a lot of patience and grace and understanding and support. I think that that's something that you're very worried about whether or not you're going to get that, but every person in my group was so supportive of me, and that's honestly all I could really ask for in this crazy time that was having a baby while starting your MBA program.
Yeah, I would go back to the supportive thing. And that first group in particular, and this is actually applies to the whole blue section, which is why it's the best section. Anytime I was throwing an event early on, oftentimes the attendees would always be my study group, but also the blue section at large really made up the core of that. So I'm very appreciative for that. That's part of the reason why those were successful.
One thing you're going to miss after graduation.
I'm gonna miss. I hope it's not gonna be the case. So we'll still have time together, but I'll miss coming to class, coming to Anderson and seeing everybody.
Yeah.
Lunch and dinners. It'll be kind of sad, not having that anymore. I'm sure we'll have not official hangouts, unofficial hangouts to receive everybody, but it won't be the same. Everyone will be invited, but at times it won't be everybody. So that'll be tough.
Yeah, I think that's the same for me. I've really enjoyed making a lot of these friendships, and it's definitely a bittersweet thing just thinking that we're not gonna have regularly scheduled times to meet together, but I think that's just something that we're gonna put a plan into action to make sure we do see people as often as we can.
Awesome. Finally, do you guys want to give a bear hug to anybody?
Okay. I will give a bear hug to Teresa Prindle.
Uh-huh.
A good friend of mine, not in the blue section, hasn't got a shout out here, but she's a very kind person, someone I met very early in this process at an event for Professor Ullman, I believe in April of 2024. And she's a great person. And She's a good friend.
Awesome. How about you, Marisa?
I would like to give a bear hug to my husband, my partner. Not to be all sentimental, but I mean, I wouldn't be here if he didn't have the initial ambition to do an MBA at some point. And I'm really glad that he encouraged me to do it, even when I was like really terrified to take the plunge. And for just being a great supporter. I mean, we had a beautiful daughter in the program, and you know, I just can't thank him enough for being there. And I would also like to give a little bear hug to my daughter Avery. You want to see?
Hi.
Hi. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Say hi.
Come in.
Here, come here. Come sit.
The first gentleman. How's it going?
Please welcome Kevin. Kevin is the associate director at INSMED, and he's also husband of Marisa Lue. Kevin, I have a couple of questions for you. One, an easy one. What has been your biggest takeaway in this program so far?
That's a really good question. I think probably for me is really transformative is the theme, and it's not undersold. It really transformed my experience. I was on the single track on climbing corporate ladder, very conservative, just interested in like what's next. And here I wanted to expand my horizons. I learned all about other industries, you know, outside biopharma. I met wonderful classmates that really grew a network and friendships. And then I think the big one too is really starting my entrepreneurial journey, which is something I didn't expect at all. And so that's been really the most fulfilling piece, and I'm hoping to continue that beyond the program as well.
All right. One easy question, Kevin. What has been the difficult role you have played? Or should I say, what has been the toughest part? Doing the MBA program or being a husband and a father?
That's a lovely question. I think the hardest is being able to be present and do really well across the board. And I think the key to that is constant communication, collaboration, and just checking in with each other. It's up and downs, you know, the journey. It's like it's not necessarily all smooth sailing, but then we talk, we connect with like what's next, what's needed. Focus a little bit about school, focus a little bit about like home life, and we have Avery too. So it's I would say the whole piece at once, going from 0 to like 10 is the toughest part, but it's incredibly rewarding and would not have it any other way.
Okay, we can ask the same question to you. If you want to give a bear hug to somebody, who would you do it?
Oh wow, what a question. I think I'd give it to my family, and if I could, metaphorically, literally, all my EMBA classmates, just thinking about like how we have a couple months left is hitting really hard and real, and it's, you know, I think going through a little bit more free time and having a little bit more lives back is great, but 100% the thing I'm going to miss the most is just us gathering and meeting together. So that would be my bear hug. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you very much for hopping in. Thank you guys for whatever you've been doing for the class. It's amazing. Thank you again.
Thank you, Praveen.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Praveen's our chief of staff, by the way. Unofficial.
Thank you.
Can you say hi
Thank
to
you so
everybody
much.
in the class? Hi.